So today we're going to look at using Galileo. Now I know that some of you have probably used it in middle school. Anybody use it? What did you use it for?
Search a source.
Yeah. Was the assignment probably science fair? Book report? Okay. How many of you have ever been frustrated using it?
Yeah.
Okay. I will be very honest. I came to Miss Benton last week with my laptop with something in Galileo pulled up because it had frustrated me. So what I want you to be clear about is that when you get to college and you are doing academic research, Google is not your friend, okay? You're gonna have to make friends with Galileo or the media specialist, all right? Basically, your summative assessment for the Scarlet Letter is an academic paper. Your task is to find an essay in Galileo from a journal or some other peer-reviewed source, which means that other academics have looked at it, about the Scarlet Letter. You're going to write a summary of no more than 300 words of the article, and then you're going to respond to the article using your knowledge of the book. So this is the type of assignment that you will probably see in your literature classes in college. All right, not your composition classes, not like what we're doing right now, but most of you who are getting a 4-year degree are going to have a whole credit for a literature course. Now you get to pick whether it's American Lit or Southern Lit. It could be Shakespeare, it might be Brit Lit or World Lit. But after you guys have read a common text, it is not uncommon for your professor to say, find a scholarly article that deals with this book plus this topic, write the summary, and then write a response. All right? So I'm doing that right now in my grad school class for The Merchant of Venice, and this is the article that Miss Benton helped me find. Mine is much bigger than yours has to be, clearly. All right, so here's my article for 15 pages. I'm going to be doing this assignment alongside of you for my professor for Shakespeare while you're doing it on a smaller scale with the Scarlet Letter. All right, questions so far? All right, so I'm going to let Miss Benton take over, and while she's doing that, I'm going to bring you your assignment sheet. I want you to kind of take notes about tips that she's going to give you on how to find scholarly articles on literature.
Okay, so Galileo basically is Georgia's version of a virtual library. Okay, that's what you need to think of it. It's a library. Okay, a library full of articles, newspaper articles, magazine articles, books, images, videos. It's this huge library, okay? And the state taxpayers pay a lot of money to keep this library going on. And it was actually brought about, I mean, the university system of Georgia is who runs this thing, okay? They decide what's going to be in there. So that's why the universities expect you to use this, okay? So, knowing that, the universities, when you go to university, you're going to have access to a lot more than you'll have access here, okay? Because they pay most of the money for this program. But we still have a lot of access, and that's what I'm going to show you how to tap into today. Now, if you know anybody who is in a university right now, they will have a password that is unique to their university. Are they supposed to share that? No, they aren't, but they can, okay? And you'll have, like I said, more access. But what I'm going to show you how to do is how to access the Henry County version of Galileo. If you go and search Galileo and you don't have a password and you're at home, you can't get into Galileo, okay? Do you understand that? It's because it has to be paid for, all right? So that's why you have to have a password. The password here at school is capable, all right? Capable, that's something you want to write down, capable. That's the only way you can access it at home. Now, when you're at school and you access Galileo, it automatically goes to the Henry County page for Galileo. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So if you'll look up here, I'm just going to go to the school website. I actually just put this on here to make the link a little bit easier, and go down to student links, and I added Galileo. Okay, so it's there. And if you were at home, the only difference would be a little box that says, what is your password? Okay? That's where you put in capable. Now, when you put in capable, it's going to say Henry County Schools. You'll see down here where it says about, that's actually going back to the school system. So this is our rights to the Galileo website. And notice it says high school up there, okay? Because this is high school access. Now, the first thing you want to do, being an AP English class, you are not going to use just the regular high school Galileo. You want to go to Galileo Scholar, okay? That's where you're going to have your scholarly articles. The things that are written by actual academic individuals, okay?
People like experts or PhDs in whatever the field is, where they do their own research and then they publish it.
Okay. So I just backed out of whatever that survey that came up. Now you see it says Galileo Scholar at the top. Okay, so now you're no longer in high school, you're in Scholar. The best way, one of the ways you have to think of Galileo is it is a massive network of databases. So one way to narrow your search is to go straight to databases. That's what I like to do. You can type in browse subject, but you're going to get a ton of, you know, every image, every video, everything. You want a criticism, okay? So let's go to databases, and we're going to find out of all these databases, and I can see all of them, and this is something you can do when you have all that free time that you have. You can look at all the databases. Now, if we were at the University of Georgia, we'd have probably twice as many databases. But anyway, so now I want to find a database that's going to help me find a literary criticism. So I'm going to type literary, oh, there it is, criticism. And it should give me a database where I can just search from there, okay? And here are two. So because the ebook one is more books, that kind of thing, I'm going straight to where it says literature, criticism, author biographies, and more. So I'm going to the Literary Reference Center. Now this is a database. So it's full of lots of articles, lots of, newspaper, that kind of thing, scholarly articles. And what I want to show you right here, place. Okay. I was going to show you something, but I don't see it right off the hand. But anyway, let's do a search. Okay. So now we're doing the Scarlet Letter. If I can spell. And I look over here where it says browse. I'm going to narrow this by saying I only want full text articles. I don't want a bunch of abstracts.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than looking at an abstract and thinking,
Perfect.
man, this is perfect. And then you don't have access to the actual article.
Okay? That was kind of a problem that Ms. Vincent had the other day. Because, yeah, that article's out there, but we didn't have access to it, and neither did she through her college. So ended up being something you'd have to pay for. I guess you eventually found it. But anyway, so I'm going to type full text. let me type, I guess I'm gonna have to put Scarlet Letter here. And I'm gonna browse. Oh, you gotta tell me that before I hit browse. And the thing about Galileo is you just don't give up. You have to keep trying things. And that's what I'm going to do again. Okay. So now I have 208 options of literary criticisms. And here again, I can narrow this down because right now it's all results, and there are 72 literary criticisms about the Scarlet Letter. Okay. Now, if you did that, if you did literary criticism Scarlet Letter on Google, you'd probably get 70,000. You don't want to do that, and then you're not going to know if they're really scholarly, worth your time and effort. So here is where you start deciding, do you have something you can use? Right here, if you'll go to where you see the little magnifying glass, that is your abstract. There it tells you what this is about. If it doesn't look like something you want to use, keep going. Also, if you'll look here, there's a bit of a citation right here that tells you how many pages there are. And that's one of the requirements. Your article has to be so many pages. So that's 19 pages for good, but maybe that's not the topic I want.
Maybe you don't want 19 pages. It just says at least 3.
Okay, here's one that's 8 pages. Let's see what that's about, since we're all about saving time. Buried guilt. Explored sin and buried guilt. It stresses that forgiveness is, these are all words I've seen on your, okay. So that might be worth